Hey guys, this is Chesney Hawks here. You are watching My Hammers 11 with the one and only Russ.
Hi everybody, Russ and My Hammers 11. Hope you're all safe and well. New channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon so you may know any time I put new content on. As always, I'd like to thank our channel sponsors. There they are, Untuck It. Check them out in the description below. We have another X-Hammer today. I believe it might be our 70th or just over 70 X-Hammers we've had on the channel. But this one's a special one. We're just about to interview this guy. There he is. He gets a little video. You get a little montage.
That's decent, mate. Thank you very much.
I've been busy. I've been learning how to do it all. So it's all professional now, TC. It's all professional. How are you, my friend? How are you, buddy?
Yeah, well, just left the training ground. Just was just talking about. I decided to do some recording for the club regarding obviously the social media boycott.
Yeah.
I think it's very important that the club are doing it as well, along with the other teams. And just to be a part of that means a lot, really.
Totally, man. No, I totally agree. I totally back it. I think it's great that everyone's getting involved as well. It's been long overdue. Do you know what I mean? It's long overdue, isn't it?
Yes, like you know how it goes. Like everybody gets abuse online. It's all right to get abuse on certain subjects, like I wouldn't even say abuse, but criticism.
Yeah.
It's all right to be criticised for your football. That's all right. Like it's not a problem. Everyone's got their opinions. But when your race comes into it, your gender comes into it, your sexual orientation comes into it, then it's a big problem, you know. Like, and the abuse has to stop somewhere. And the social media platforms have the power. They have the power to stop it. And something needs to be done. So hopefully they hear our voices as a football community.
Well, I mean, considering particularly over the weekend how much social media traffic comes from football clubs, people talking about football, hopefully the fans will get involved as well, and there'll be a big percentage of them, because what are you going to talk about? What's going to happen on Twitter? I mean, no one's sharing goals or anything.
You know, like we've seen what happened with the Super League stuff. You saw how disgruntled it made the football world, and this is the same sort of thing. We need to be doing this in the same. Keep that same energy, man. Like we can do it. We've shown how powerful we are. I don't understand why we don't think we can do things. We've got a voice, and now's the time to stand up. Like especially in this day and age where we've seen what we've been going through via the pandemic. Everybody's been sticking together, and now everyone can stick together in football to fight combat against abuse and people doing the wrong things. And education is key, and I think we've all got that now, so we got to make sure that we can go forward into the future with brighter hopes and prospects.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. Totally agree. And as you said, with the pandemic and everything that's gone on, I mean, I know obviously you're still involved in the academy and stuff like that. It must, from a coach, a mentor's perspective, you know how these kids have been. You've been on the training field, off the training field, on the training field, off the training field. You must have been living your life on Zoom and stuff with all these kids all the time, man, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been hard. When you talk about mental health, it's coming to a big thing right now. I've got a few mates that have been suffering. I've always been lucky that I've been quite a positive outlooking guy, and so that it hasn't affected me in that capacity. But these kids, remember, they're trying to develop, they're trying to be a footballer, they're trying to get to the next stage in their careers, and it's been kind of stunted for them, like they haven't been able to do what they want to do, go out to the park or go out with their mates or just grow up organically like how we did when we were going older. This is not good for them. And look, it just takes the adults like us and the coaches like us as well to try and keep them give them happy feet, make them feel great about themselves, and just try and help them out as much as we can, because obviously we're going through our own dilemmas,
of course,
as human beings, but we can't let it tell on our kids and our future.
No, it's true, man. It's true. I mean, my daughter's 8, and so she has to be fair, she has breezed it. Do you know what I mean? But you know, but I think the younger kids are at the age where they've literally all their life is online. It is iPads and phones and FaceTime. That's how they live their life. So it was almost like, oh, but I don't have to go to school. You know, so but I know what you mean. And it is hard because they ask you questions, isn't it? And you're trying to suffer you know, particularly from, you know, people look up to you, particularly the kids, you know, you work with. And it is tough, man, because you've got to sort of, you know, be the big, you know, Mr. Big Bollocks. So they, you know, so they think, oh, Carlton's all right. But, you know, it's about having humility and reaching out. And a lot of people do, man, don't they? A lot of people do. And it's important too.
No,
really
definitely. It's important. It's important. But you got to be able to just relate to these kids as much as you can, show them the real world, but at the same time, do it responsibly, you know?
Yeah. No, exactly, man. But I mean, you know, the good thing is in you know, obviously in the crazy world that has been the pandemic, you know, the first team have kept us going, haven't they? Let's be honest, they've kept us going, innit?
Listen, it couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah.
You know? Like it kind of overshadowed the pandemic a little bit for us, you know? Like we were just talking about how well we're doing. Like at the start of it, obviously we stayed up. We stayed up in the Premier League, so that was something to be happy about.
Yeah.
Then after that, it just got better. Like we're still fifth in the Premier League. We've got a chance of going higher. Win our next 5 games. We're in with a shout for Europe. Listen, things can't look any brighter for West Ham, and I'm happy and proud to call myself part of West Ham's history and part of the club.
Yeah, totally, man. And you're right. And obviously, the poor old Tottenham losing the Carabao Cup the other day means seventh can get into Europe now. And I think, you know, at the beginning of the season, if he said, right, Carlton, we're going to be 7th, well, you know, well, we're 5th now. We're really annoyed. We just lost to Chelsea where we could have gone 4th. You'd have said, what? This is like, do you know what I mean? I know, but it's great. And
the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah, you're right.
We was I would say. Looking, it was doom and gloom, wasn't it? Like if you look at it, we hadn't brought any players in. We was looking over our shoulders, like we were looking at our run of games as well, who we had in front. It just didn't look good, did it? And rightly so. The fans were huffing and puffing. It should do, but then things took a turn for the better somehow, and everyone's looking in the same. Everyone's on the same page. You saw how. Against Arsenal, I'd say Arsenal, although we lost the game, everyone started to look forward because it gave us that momentum because we played really, really well. And even Arteta came out and said that how well we played, you know?
Yeah.
So that gave us some confidence going into the next games. And then, listen, they've just gone and done the job and the rest is history, mate.
They have, man, and it's the team. I mean, you're obviously around the training ground quite a lot, you know, and we know the stuff that you know when the club put stuff up. I mean, I loved you and Chris doing your virtual open training session. I think it was fair play to you too. You know what I mean? I know you and Chris well. I mean, you know, that was a tough gig, but you did well. I really enjoyed that. And again, it was good adapting, innit? As you said, you know, during Easter, we'd have probably had the stadium open. I'd be playing some tunes and you know, the fans would have got their signatures, but it was the next best thing. But still the team spirit, man, isn't it? That's what I mean. There's a real buzz around it. There's a real buzz internally, a buzz around the team. We're on the first step of something here, man. I really am.
You gotta say, Russ, like even you've been doing a great job as well, promoting good vibes. You know what I mean? It's very important. It's very important that everybody, every broadcaster that's connected to West Ham, promote the success of the team and success of the club. And that's why it all culminates. Don't think it doesn't culminate into the bigger picture. It culminates to seeing what the boys are doing on the field.
Yeah.
It culminates, like when I go on TV, if I'm talking on Sky Sports or I'm talking on Talk Sport or any kind of broadcasting channels I'm on, I'm always putting the club's interest first, and then mine, you know, because I want the club to do well, and I've always been a promoter of anything that's close to my heart. I'll promote it to the full max in a good light because it makes sense because it's what I'm part of. So it's like if you bought a car and your other mate said he bought the same car as you, you're gonna say my car's better than yours. You're always gonna say that, you know what I mean? So you always got to promote what's yours. And West Ham, to me, it belongs to obviously the fans, but it holds a special place in my heart. So I'll promote it to the tilt.
It does, and it's just I just think there's a real old school team spirit about the team at the moment, which I think people are really like. Obviously, obviously I'm still there every game, and you see like one thing I've never seen, and it's that and Moyes has brought it in. The team go for a little walk around the pitch about half one, about an hour and a half before the game. All together in their masks and tracksuit up. But that was just like you see them all jostling and taking the piss out of each other, and that's like old school. That's old school mentality.
And that's the way football used to be. And we've still got that mentality at West Ham, and David Moyes has set the culture for it to be like that. So it's important that the players, not just obviously the fans are not there at the moment, but the players have to find it within themselves now to go out and give the best. So they know that it's up to them ultimately to produce. And if they can get it right in the changing rooms and in training, then more or less you get it right on the pitch on a Saturday.
Totally, man. And irrespective of whether there's fans or not, because as you say, if the team are already strong when they come on, obviously the fans give them that extra, we've had people on before, who have played behind closed doors and stuff for reserve. And they say you need that extra, it gives you the extra 15, 20% sometimes.
Exactly.
I mean, now, if we had them shipped in now, there's games where we wouldn't have maybe lost. We would have maybe got a draw and, and it's just, it swings and roundabouts. As you said, if we had them at the beginning of the season, it may have been a different season. So
exactly.
It's what it is, man. Anyway, that's enough to talk about this season. Let's talk about you. That's why you're on. You talk about West Ham all the time on TalkSport, but I want to talk about you, Mr. Carlton Cole. So basically, the first question I always ask is with fans is why they support the club and stuff like that. With the players, obviously you signed in July 2006. Why? What happened?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. It wasn't straightforward. It was never straightforward. Nothing ever is straightforward. And the best things in life are never straightforward. It takes a route to get there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But what I would say is like me and my uncle was out in Sierra Leone. And I'd just done a medical at Spurs, actually.
Oh, no swearing on this channel, please. No swearing.
Blasphemy. It's blasphemy. But it was from Chelsea. And then Roman Abramovich said that I couldn't go there, basically. He called us back, said, you ain't going to Spurs. Like, we don't do business with them. So I said, all right, cool. What's the next best thing? I said, so I got my agent to actually get some other clubs, some other options. So me and my uncle went to Sierra Leone, was there for like 2 weeks. Then we got a phone call while we was out there saying that you need to come back. So it was West Ham were interested, so we had to come back and meet Pardew at the airport. So we got to the airport, straight off the plane, straight into a hotel at the airport, and obviously I spoke to Pards, and he sold the club to me, and I spoke to I think it was I can't remember who it was, the chairman at the time. I think it was Brown or something. I can't remember. Yeah, but what happened was that I just fell in love straight away. Do you know what I mean? Because there was about 6 or 7 people from the club, and they all sold it to me in the best way possible. And then me and my uncle decided a little chat, and then we said, "Yeah, it's the right one for you. This is the way we got to go." And then we signed at the airport.
I love it, man.
We signed at the airport, and then I just had to come in for pre-season training, and then the deal was done, and then that was the start of a fairy tale story.
It really was, man. Yeah. Hopefully you weren't too jet lagged as well. I mean, the miles back from Sierra Leone as well.
Yeah, Sierra Leone is the same. It's the same hours.
It's the same one, isn't it? Yeah.
So
it's not too bad. Okay. Didn't have that as an excuse. Yeah. So I mean, and as you said, that was it, man, wasn't it?
A clear head. Yeah, I signed with a clear
head. Good. Yes, Your Honour. There we go. We've got that on camera now, so it's okay. And obviously, home, debut couldn't have gone any better. 24 seconds in. You scored. You know what I mean? That ain't bad, man, is it? That ain't bad.
That's what dreams are made of, When you come in on the pitch straight away, you're a substitute. You come on. What a way to introduce yourself to the West Ham faithful straight away. Scored straight away. But even after that, it was never plain sailing with me. It was I weren't getting the games. I had to work to get back into that team. Like remember, there was 6 of us. There was 6 strikers at the club.
There was, yeah.
Teddy Sheringham, Marlon Harewood, Dean Ashton, and Tevez. There was Tevez that was even there. I swear
remember
there was
him.
one more. Bobby Zamora.
Tomorrow,
Well,
God, you can't forget him. He'll
and then
phone
there
you
was
up.
me. So the
Yeah.
sixth. So it was hard to get any games. And then I did get the games. It was hard to make an impact because there was just so much pressure. And I think I was the youngest still out of all of those boys.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those ones. It was like I had to get going, and then it took a couple of injuries the next season for me to get. Obviously, we had done the Great Escape that year, and it took a couple of games for me to get going. And then there was I think it was Alan Kirbishley that started playing me when he came in, and I think the only reason why he played me is because all the other boys were injured. So I had to go in, and I was having a little chat with my uncle, and my uncle said, "Listen, just go leave it out all on the pitch." And then I just started getting a bit of rhythm. Didn't score a few games, but you could see the work rate. The work rate was there, and I bought into that, believing that if I work hard, the goals will come, or the success for the team will come as well. And then that's how we just started. I started to build my confidence and started to get involved with the club a bit more and started buying into the club's culture.
Gotcha.
And it just suited mine at the time. So we just grew together, me and the club.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, I get, and also you're right. I mean, as you said, you put it out on the pitch. And I think that's why a lot of, we've interviewed over 300 people, something ridiculous on the channel, and many of them pick you in their team, man, because you left it all on the pitch, and you might have scored that day, but you put it on the, and that's all West Ham fans ask for. Big Sam talks about the West Ham way. The West Ham way was basically having a go, having a proper go, and that's what you did, man.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm at the academy, because listen, before anything, before talent, before how good your skills are, before how good you got, before your shots, before the way you receive the ball, all your skills, all your artillery, apart from that, when that goes, you have to be able to work hard first. Your foundation is working hard. Like, you have to be able to leave it out on the pitch, and then your quality will shine through after that, and your skills. We've always had players that embodied that, basically. Mark Noble embodied that. Scott Parker embodied that. And then you get your few flair players that we have to carry. So we'll be the water carriers for them. So it's okay once in a while. But then the solid base of it is the work ethic. And West Ham are a working class background club, mate. Like, you got to work hard, and that has to be through the veins and through the blood. Well, through your blood for the club. So you got to leave everything out on that pitch, blood, sweat, and tears, and then you'll get the respect from the fans.
You're right, man, and I think that's why I love. Obviously, we've had you on now. We've had Conch, we've had Zavon, we've had Mark as well, Mark Phillips, and so we've had loads of the coaches, and I love the fact there's a sort of a first team ex player associated with every age group, really, and it's to promote that, you know what I mean? Even like, you obviously got Potsy, and you got Kevin Keane, you got all these like great players for West Ham who are still involved in the club, and as you said, it's maintaining that sort of level of energy, what you need to become a West Ham player, really, because that's what it is, man. And I totally get what you mean. Yeah, but also, I mean, through your, as you said, your fairy tale, your 9 seasons, a couple of England caps and everything like that, which is lovely as well. You've played in some games which, if people sort of said to me, I'll pick some games that you remember, and a lot of them you played in. So you got, as you said, we had the Man United League Cup game where you scored a brace, and Jonathan Spector became like prime Iniesta that day. It's like, that was amazing.
He became Ronaldo that day, didn't
exactly, like prime Iniesta. You know what I mean? He's like, it was brilliant, old Specs, that day. And obviously, you mentioned Scott Parker, and obviously the West Brom game famously, where he gave that halftime speech you've already spoken about before, and and Millwall. I mean, what was it like playing against Millwall, man?
Oh, mate, that was like, because you knew how much was riding on it.
Yeah,
like you can't lose that game. Millwall game, the Millwall game is like, that is the most nerve-wracking game I've probably been in at the start, because from the night before,
Yeah.
You can't even have losing in your thoughts. You know what I mean?
Nah.
You have to win that game, no matter what. Otherwise, your fans are going to cremate you. Like, you will not be able to walk around town the next day with your head held high for at least 10 years. Like, you can't. It can never happen. So you got to understand it. So I already knew that. So I just, before everything, I just made sure that I made myself a nuisance against them. I remember there was one game, I think we played them when we was in the champ. And who was it that got sent off early doors? I think it was Kevin Nolan got sent off early. So our game plan went out the door like early on in that game. And I think it's the game when Reed scored the winner.
Yeah. I know.
So that game, Kevin Nolan got he got sent off early in that game, and I was like, no way, this is gonna be an uphill. And we had to play 10 men through the whole game. And then I think I scored the first, then they equalised, and then Winston got the winner.
Scored the winner, yeah.
So that was just down to just knowing, and the fear of losing that game was just immense. So we had to, 10 men or not, it didn't matter. We had to win that game. Like, it didn't matter. So we found it within ourselves, and we done well in the end.
Oh, yeah,
those games were very intense.
Yeah, I remember the League Cup one, obviously, when Jack's dad had just passed the week before, isn't he? And Zavon, we had Zavon as well on, and Jack, we was playing to both of them. And they were talking about just, that game, and obviously that was the crazy one with all the pitch invasions, and he just and just Zavon was like, I'm sitting in the dugout thinking, what the fuck is happening here? It's just a total different world, man. But you spoke about, that being, one of your nervous games. Arguably, obviously, the most nervous game I've seen you play in, from my perspective, was obviously the playoff final. That one, the £200 million game, that one, the one you scored in as well, that one, yeah. Obviously for then, if you'd been with the club for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years then, so you obviously had seen us being relegated. You've probably seen a lot of, the tea ladies and stuff probably have left because they couldn't afford to pay them because we had to cut your cloth accordingly. Was there, when we got to the playoff final, do you think it's more than just a football game for me? What was it? What was the build up? Were you shitting yourself? Was it just another game?
No, it wasn't just another game. Of course it wasn't another game, but of course, I was quietly confident that we'd win the game. Yeah. I just didn't know how we'd win the game. Like that, it's not about I knew we were good enough to win that game quite easily, because remember we
turned them over
quite emphatically the 2 games we played them in the season. So we already knew that we could beat them. We were capable of beating them. But on that day, it's a different day. Like anyone could beat anybody on a cup day. Do you know what I mean? Cup final. So it's just one of those ones where I was still looking over my shoulder just in case, because I was thinking. And the worst thing about it, we didn't even play well. We didn't even actually play well. We didn't play great. And it just took a few of us to just make some magic moments, and we'd won. But that could have easily gone the wrong way.
Easily.
But luckily, I was praying with my whole family the night before, and was protected.
Good. That's what I like, man. That's what I like. I mean, I was shitting myself for 2 reasons, because we had that. I was meant to be, like the day before, they said, oh, did you want to be like Herbie Hammer or Hammerhead? One of the mascots. But I didn't got to see, but I had to get a CRB check, and that's going to take like 72 hours. So I ended up like chaperoning. It was brilliant, just literally walking around with them. But my daughter was due that day, so I was like, and I had a really good seat, like a really good seat. So I was there with like a beer in one hand and my phone like literally to my ear. So it was like 60, it's probably about 50, 60,000 West Ham fans, weren't there?
Diehard, you are, mate.
Oh, well, do you know what? But it's not that far.
Due that day.
Just due that day, yeah. Mrs. Budden. Mrs. Budden let me go. Mrs. Budden let me go, man. But see, the thing is, I was front row.
See people like you, that what you just told me there. That for me, that shows me how much West Ham mean to people.
Yeah.
So players need to understand that when they come to the club, they have to take this seriously, because you're missing you might have missed your daughter's birth. You need to understand that.
I didn't think of it like that, but you're totally right. Yeah,
take football seriously. So it's a
it's
true
true.
fact. And when I hear these stories, that's when I feel more passionate about what I do and how much football means to people, because it's their life. So it's got to be done. But yeah, that day was amazing. Like,
oh, that's right. You got mute. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Hold on one second.
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Yeah, I can hear you, man. I can hear you.
I can't see you no more though. There you are.
Oh, yeah, there.
That day was just that was a nerve-wracking day for everybody that was involved with West Ham.
Yeah.
But I had a sneaky feeling that we'd win, because I just knew that I had faith. I knew God wouldn't let me down that day, no matter what. Even if we didn't play well, I knew that it was supposed to be, So I was quite happy that when we won eventually, and we didn't have to go into extra time, because that would have been bad. And I'm happy I scored. Obviously, I'm happy I scored. But if anybody scored, I'd have been just as happy as well. It's just that we just needed to win that game.
Yeah,
that was the main thing.
That's exactly was it. We just needed to win it, just to go through. That was that. Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, I didn't think about that. No, you said it.
You didn't think about it. I just opened your eyes, didn't I?
Yeah. Although I do, I've got to find a picture. I mean, look, I'll show you. Look, that was my seat. That was front row. That was my seat. So that was cool, man. You said that was front row. So where Vaste scored that second half, I was there. Amazing. So she wouldn't have minded. She wouldn't know who I was until then, anyway. And as I said, within with something like
you just have some explaining to do when your daughter's older.
Yeah, but she don't know. She don't care. She knows where we are. But I mean, within 3 days.
Yeah.
Because she got married. She got not a few more years for that. But she was delivered in Queens in Romford, and so about 3 days later, I knew that the trophy was going to be at the little shop at Romford. Yeah. And I knew Eddie was there, so I walked in. I said, "Can I just?" So I've got a picture of her in the trophy, about 3 days old.
In the trophy.
I'm gonna have to find it as we talk. But
you're something else, mate. I'm telling you, you are a different cat. You're a different kettle of fish. In the trophy after 3 days being on Earth.
Yeah. I mean, I gave her 3 days before she was implanted. Do you know what I mean? So
that's amazing.
Look, it's one of those things where it was as you said, she's 8 years old now, so and I made sure that she would, because I had my pass, so I can, and this was the ground's not there anymore now, so I could sneak into Upton Park, so because obviously you could walk around quite easily around there. So I've got a picture of her on like she'd been signed for the club,
wow.
And then I turned around to see my wife, and she'd gone for it, like sprinted, like into and lucky Dougie or no one was there, because he would have lynched me. But so like I got that, and
how Dougie gets with his pitches and his grass.
Yeah.
The grass merchant.
Good old Dougie, yeah. But I mean, that's what I mean. But you like all those players, as you said, all those people around the club. That still loads still there. It's a real. People talk about a family club, but it is, man.
So
it really is.
I saw Dougie the other day. He's still giving me stick and banter in front of the players I coach. You know what I mean? He's like, they were like, how do you know him? Who is he? Why is he talking to you like that? That kind of thing. I'm like, listen, that's Dougie. He's the groundsman, mate. See that grass you play on? He's the boss of that. So if
it weren't for him, if it weren't for him,
you wouldn't be out here.
Yeah, exactly.
In the car park.
Yeah, but I mean, that's it, man, isn't it?
But no. So this is all these people. It all culminates to the West Ham way, and you just got to understand that and buy into it. And once you know everybody around West Ham, you'll see how lovely the club is as a whole. It's not just about what you see on the TV. It's not all of that, because the unsung heroes are the ones that I love. I love like the people that work, like the kit man. I love the lady that comes in to help out in the kitchen. Yeah, there's about 3 of them. I love like the lady that comes to wash the kit after training. And do you know what? The kit man and her, they're the ones that actually I take very seriously, because I can get extra kit here and there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Perks, little caps and little snoods and scarves and that. So you got to look after those people, but
You do, man.
I love them I love them like they're my family. Do you know what I mean? So it's the best way to be.
It is, man. And as I said, I think there's probably other, and as you said, we've interviewed you, and as I said, probably over 70 fat players from all generations, and everyone to a man basically says how much they love the club and the fans and the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it is a family club, man. I think more than ever, this pandemic's proved that. You know, when someone's feeling a bit rubbish, they are, on Twitter, they'll be saying, 20 minutes later, they said, oh, I've had 30 messages, 30 DMs of people to see if I'm all right. I know a lot of people have had real tragedy over the last 12 months, and the West Ham lot have come out swinging, man. And it's something to be really proud of, man. It's something to be really proud of.
When my grandmother died in
Of
September,
course.
like, everybody was so sympathetic. Like, I had untold people coming onto my socials, just giving me support, anything I needed. You know what I mean? And obviously, at that point, you just want your close-knit family around. But just to know that you've got an extended family, there, it's a very powerful thing.
Yeah, no, it is, man. It really is powerful, and it's a lovely thing. So as I'm talking, I'll find that picture of my daughter. I'll find it eventually. Find it at the end. Right. Anyway, let's talk about your Hammers 11, because I don't want to talk about you leave it, like the West Brom thing and all that stuff, because you've been there, done that. You never moved. You never moved. United were after you. Liverpool, Galatasaray, Stoke. No one compared. No one compared, man. We don't talk about that. We want to talk about your Hammers 11. That's what people want to know. They want to know who's in your team. So basically, everyone we've had on the channel, apart from Harry didn't do it. Ian Bishop didn't do it, and Nigel Reo-Coker didn't do it either. So, but everyone else has. So Bobby,
you know what? I can understand why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
The reason why, and I was looking at that as well. I was actually thinking I might not give it, because the reason why it's very because I played with loads of players.
You did, man.
Imagine nearly 10 years, seen a lot
of players, man.
A lot of players, and I've built relationships with these players.
Oh, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
And it's not just the fact that I think that they're there wasn't a best 11. There's nothing to do with that. It's just the fact that I think it's a little bit unfair that I'll choose just an 11 when I'd rather choose players in each position, because I've got a story about everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've
what I mean.
Relationships. So that I was a bit hesitant coming on here and saying, best 11. Like,
it's not the best.
I've done it before, but then I'll go back home and I'll think there's, you know what I mean? I want to change it, or it's just mind-boggling, and I feel it's not fair that I put myself through that for one, and just let down a load of my mates, like, and it's not even banter, because they'll probably be on me. You know
some of them are. Some of them really are. I know, but I mean, but people tend to do. But I'm not saying it's the best, because it's like it's because it could be. It's subjective. Some people pick the, not obviously so. For some people that pick the sick note 11 or the worst 11, or not even best 11, could be the favourite 11. As you said, there'll be players as with memories and stories, and that's what people want to listen to. It's the stories, not necessarily the best players. I mean, as you said, you play with so many great players, but some you might have had a better connection with than others.
Yeah,
that's it, man. It's just your 11. You've got friends that probably talk to, and ones you don't talk to. And that's how we get away with it. That's how we do honourable mentions as well. Honourable mentions is how people get away with it. Yeah. So honourable mentions, but I'm going to put because that's it.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do, man. We'll try to get 4-4-2 as well, because that's the only graphic I've got as well.
All right, cool.
So who's in goal? Who's in goal for Carlton's 11?
Look, goalkeepers are all weird, aren't they? Like, they're all weird.
We've had loads of them on, actually.
Anybody that just throws themselves on the ground for a living is proper weird, mate. Like, to me, I just don't get it. But I love that they love their craft.
Yeah.
I just don't get their craft. But you have to have them in goal. So I'll go with Rob Green. Rob Green's he's probably definitely up there for me as the best goalkeeper the Hammers have had in recent years. Just the fact that he was England number one at one stage as well, and I was in a lot of England squads with him too. So he's the main guy for me in goal.
Yeah, he's
he's a top man as well. He's a top man.
Yeah, and he liked to read his Financial Times and do all that stuff.
Like we were playing whilst we was on the coach going up to wherever we were going to a game. We'll be playing Mario Kart on the Nintendo DS, and he'll be at the front of the bus with a gaffer reading the Financial Times. You know what I mean? He's an amazing character. He's an amazing. Yeah. But now I understand why he was reading the Financial Times.
Yeah.
Now,
like
I'm into business and all that sort of stuff, so I do need to know the stock markets and the shares and all that sort of stuff. So he's one of those guys where he was a far ahead of his time, and I'm just playing catch up now. So I wish I was what he was.
You graduated from your business thing the other day, didn't you? Did that thing the other day?
I did. That was quite pleasing for me. I graduated in UK government, so I know a lot about UK governance now. I know a lot about how to be a non-executive director of any sort of businesses, but it's just nice to be in that position where I've had the time to do it, because when you're footballer, you don't really have the time to do that, even when you're coaching, really. But the way I've structured it in my life, I'm just always doing something. So I said, you know what, instead of me just being on my phone or my laptop and just doing stuff that not really going to benefit me, I'd rather use that time and learn something. And that's why I'm quite proud of myself.
Well, you see that as well. I mean, obviously, Instagram. I see Mazza doing his badges and Zavon doing his badges and stuff like that. And that's what I think. Coming out of lockdown, eventually, fingers crossed. Then I think a lot of people are going to have taken the same time as you said to learn a new skill, and hopefully we'll become a bit more.
I've learned how to cook as well. Let's
add me too.
I'm a top master chef now.
Master chef.
Also, I've learned how to DJ again. Like, I've taught myself how to DJ too. So I've been very busy over lockdown, mate. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm getting my qualifications.
That's good, man.
Stuff. Yeah, mate. So
I love it.
Very, this whole period, I've used it to the best of my ability to learn stuff and learn new skills that I probably wouldn't have had the time to do when everything was opened up.
No, totally, man. Yeah, totally. Did you watch do you watch when Gabs doesn't do it anymore now? First lockdown, he was doing his sets in his room, old Danny Gabardon.
Oh yeah, he loves DJing, doesn't he? Danny. He loves it. Yeah, he loves it,
man.
He wants to be like you. He wants to be like you, Russie. They
all do, man.
But you're the king, so we can't.
There we go. I mean, there's that other lad, Jack Mate. Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Yeah, Jack Mate.
Pretends to the crown.
Is he DJing now?
No. He likes it. But he does it on his live streams. He puts a little bit of music on his mates. Yeah, no, doesn't mix it, but no, he's a top boy, Jack. Yeah. All right. Okay, we'll put Greeno in. Let's go left back then. Left back.
Yeah. See, like, I've got Paul Konchesky there breathing down my neck, Guinea. Like, I'll have to see him tomorrow as well if I don't include him. But when I go left back, what good left backs? I've heard George McCartney,
Conch.
Kreza was good.
Krez, of course.
I've got to go with Krez then. Do you know what? I'm going to go with, because I work with Conch. I'm going with Conch.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Otherwise, it's going to make your life living hell.
Because remember, I played with him at Charlton.
You did, yeah.
I played with him at Charlton when I first went there. Then we met each other at West Ham, and then he went on to play for Liverpool, didn't he, as well?
He did, yeah, and he played for. Obviously, we had Zamora on the other day, and he can't get rid of him.
No, he's
it's like Fulham, Tottenham.
He's always following him about, isn't it?
and kids as well. He played almost everything with him at kids as well, at Zurab and stuff like that as well. So so
let's go with Paul Konchesky there.
Well, he'll be happy. He'll be happy, Control. He watches these, so I know he'll be
Does
happy.
He?
Right.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't picked him straight away. You better edit that, though, please.
Yeah. I think.
But make it look like I picked him straight away.
Go on then. Okay, right. Who's going to be your left back, Carlton?
Paul Konchesky.
Yeah, good shout.
Definitely.
Best player on the pitch. Yeah. Okay, right. Oh, right. Okay, right back then. Let's go right back then.
Do you know what? Right back's a good one. I'm going to go with Lucas Neal.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to go with Lucas Neal. I felt Lucas Neal was a really good captain.
Yeah.
Although we was going through a lot of turmoil in his first season, the Great Escape season, he actually did get us together.
Yeah.
And eventually we sorted it out. And it was nothing to do with the manager. It was more to do with the players getting together.
Yeah, Anton said the same thing.
Yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was. We started just believing in ourselves and started taking ownership of what our situation was. We had a great team, but we were just too disjointed.
Yeah.
And really needed to have this team spirit, the team spirit that we're showing today in the first team now. If we had that team would have been quite good because we had some excellent players in that team.
Yeah,
but just didn't have the cohesion that we needed. And that was he was a big part to play with it eventually to get us all together on the same page.
Yeah, no, he was.
And he's a top man as well.
I mean, Anton said the same thing. He said he was a great captain, and he'd make people sort of. He'd go around collecting a bit of their win bonuses and giving it to the kit man and stuff.
Yeah,
and
all of that.
All that
He's
stuff.
responsible for all of that. And I think seeing that, like Mark Noble would have seen how he captained this team. I think you'd see that even Mark Noble seen like I'd say Scott Parker, the way he the leadership skills that he showed. He wasn't captain, was he, Scott?
No.
But he might as well have been. And he's taken Kevin Nolan as well.
Yeah.
And so Lucas Neal comes into that, the way he captained his team. It's unbelievable.
Definitely. And as you said, you like people like the kit man and stuff you look after, and in your early years at West Ham, that's what Lucas Neal was. So he sort of helped develop your passion.
He helped develop me because I was a captain in my own way. Do you know what I mean? I led in my own capacity.
Gotcha.
But he's done it like actively, showed us the way how to go, how to treat people, and it just boded well for the team morale.
Yeah, no, he's top guy. Yeah, right. Okay, so we got Neal on the right. Okay, first centre half. Who's gonna be your first centre half then?
Ooh, this is a big one. It's a big one.
Big one.
Because you've got Anton. You got
a lot. You got people like Tompkins. You got Ginge, Gabs, Baby Gabs, yeah. Anton. He said Anton. Matt Upson as well. I know he was back at the club for a little bit, weren't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, some good players. Plus, Winston Reid and
Winston
like that.
Reid. Even at right back, Guy Demel. I could have gone Guy Demel at right back, but I've gone with Lucas. But Guy Demel was a good centre half as well. You had Abby Fay.
Yes, he did, and he did. He at that Championship side.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Winston Reid.
Yeah.
Definitely Winston Reid, and I'm gonna go with James Collins.
Oh, nice too.
Yeah,
nice
I'll serve those two because they're my pals. Not over that, not just that they're my pals. They're good people, and they're great players as well. Great servants to the club as well. Spent a lot of time at the club, and they know the club inside and out just the same as I do. And eventually, I'd like to see them at the club at some capacity as well, doing work for the club, whether it's in the media, whether it's coaching, giving back to the club, doing anything at some capacity. I'd love to see them back at the club.
Yeah, cool, man.
They're good. They're good patrons to the club.
And it's great to see Willie like doing bits at Brentford at the moment because he deserves it. There's so much injury.
Yeah.
You never know. Brentford might come up and they buy him off us. Who knows? And then we see him back at London Stadium with fans as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing. So look, he deserves to be at a club that loves him and play him. And West Ham did love him. But now it's time for him to actually play because obviously he's not getting any younger, but he can still do a great job. He's had his injuries, Winston, but he's a top player still. He's a top player and a leader.
Man. And obviously he did what you did. You went to Sacramento. He went to the MLS as well, and
just to dip your toe on the other side of the pond. You know what I mean?
You dipped your toe over there. Then you went to Indonesia and dipped your toe over there, and it's like Then you was on trial at AFC Wimbledon.
Door of the explorer, mate. You know what
Door of the explorer, innit? You get more miles than more stamps in your passport. That's basically what you
was it. After West Ham, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go for a little.
Gonna go Scotland.
Do some travelling.
First thing Scotland. So you go up to Scotland. I'll go to Sacramento.
Scotland. I maybe could do a bit further than this. Let's go to America. In America, I could do a little bit further than this now. Let's go over to Asia. Let's see how
just imagine you a globe going.
World tour, mate. World tour with the
Carlton Cole World Tour. And then you was on trial at AFC Wimbledon. Didn't you go on trial at Wimbledon as well?
I almost did. But I felt it wasn't the right thing for me to do. I wouldn't be able to give my all when my knees were knackered by then.
Yeah, fair play, man. Right, okay. Let's go into midfield. Let's go left wing. Who's giving the left wing, man?
Oh, wow. I'm going to go left wing. Ooh. Can I go Yossi Benayoun?
Put him wherever you want, man. He'd play anyway, wouldn't he, Yossi?
He can play anywhere, innit? I might save him then.
Or go right wing and put Yossi Benayoun in.
I'm going to go left winger, Matthew Everton.
Oh, Effers, yeah. What a
Everton,
boy.
I'll tell you why. He used to just be, he was just your typical winger. You don't get him nowadays.
No.
He used to get the ball and just go all the way and just whip it in. And if you're not there, it's on you. If you're not in there to receive it, it's on you because he's done his job. Yeah. And that's what you needed. You needed players like that. And he set up a good few of my goals. So I've got to go Matthew Everton on the left. Brilliant player. Yes.
Yeah, he's a top boy. Lovely guy as well. Lovely guy, Matty, isn't he? And as you said, for you, perfect. You just get down the wing, chop it in.
That's what you want as a striker. You want someone just to whip the ball without even thinking about it. So he's definitely up there.
Football can be such an easy game if you have like two fast wingers and a big lad up front.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's such a simple game. Now they put inverse wingers and.
But now we've got to complicate it and make it scientific.
Yeah. It's like you said, Pardew, we had 6 strikers. We haven't got none now, but we had 6 strikers then, at that time. Brilliant. Well, I'll put Matty on the left then. Who's going to go on the right? We're going to put Yossi on the right then.
Yeah, let's go Yossi on the right. The chop merchant. He could chop anything up, mate. He'll chop a loaf of bread with his feet in. He's proper. The way he used to just take the ball and just chop people up, I just used to think, wow, I would not want to be in the receiving end. He used to try. I used to stay away from him in training because I know as soon as he shapes a shoot, he's faking it. And then you're just going. So as a defender, it's a nightmare to work with. And he can chop on the left, chop on the right, whatever you want. I remember some goals he scored. It was just amazing. He used to lob the goalkeeper. He used to do everything. What a player.
Yeah, he's a top boy. Yeah, and you're right, man. And he was, for me, he was just like but we've had players on who've spoken about yours. I think Bobby put him in his 11 as well. And he said, because he was like 9 stone wet through, he was like a bag of bones, weren't he? But he was strong. He liked to challenge. He liked to tackle in training and stuff. And top man. Right. Okay. Centre midfield. This is going to be tough for you, man.
This is a tough one, isn't it? Centre midfield.
Who's your first one? Do one at a time. Go on.
So we've got some good centre midfielders. When I first come, the only thing with centre midfielders, because when I first come, we had Nigel Coker as captain.
Yeah.
And he was the main man, but he left. I don't know how long after he left.
He wasn't there long. Yeah.
I think he came. It was after a year, so I didn't really get to play with him the way I wanted to. So I'm gonna probably have to go Scott Parker.
Yeah.
And who else have we got played with in centre mid? Hayden Mullins is up there.
Hayden Mullins is one of those players that no one picks apart from you guys. Because you talk about the donkey work and water carriers, and Mullins was one of those types of players. I think I asked Bobby some more of the same question, because no fans know about football like we do, or something.
Yeah. He speaks for himself there.
yeah, just keeping quiet. You play with some great. Obviously, you play with people like Kevin Nolan as well.
Nolan, you know what I mean? Kevin Nolan was good. for us. I'd say, listen,
Mark
do you know what?
Noble.
I'm going to go with the obvious candidates.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're my mates. Scott Parker's the obvious one.
Yeah.
And then Mark Noble, centre mid.
Yeah.
Because the only reason, Mark, still see him. I admire how much he's done for West Ham. Good player, only player probably that I thought should have got a cap for England at least, but he didn't get one. You know, maybe if he had a couple of yards more pace, he might have got in. But
I think mainly Carlton.
He can't be questioned. He's just a technique footballer, and he can do anything with the ball basically. But he was undervalued at international level. I feel, you know. But it is what it is. He didn't get there, but he's made himself a massive hero at West Ham, and he's lived everybody's boyhood dream, hasn't he? So
God, yeah, more so.
Good for him. So I have to put Mark Noble and Scott Parker in there.
Yeah, and then with Mark as well, you know, obviously next year being his last season, you know, but at least there'll be hopefully fans in the stadium to make this count, this next season count. And I think the only reason he didn't play for England was because he had a West Ham badge on him. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe, that was probably one of the reasons, because he is like West Ham's voice, isn't he? He's the main man. He is a walking West Ham badge, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
He might as well walk around with 2 hammers like that every day
as a backpack. Or maybe I like to think he's got those, you know, those big turrets we used to have at Upton Park. I used to think he's got them in his back garden. Do you know?
He's definitely got something in the back garden like that.
That was
he
funny.
Probably
that last
sleeps
game.
on it as well.
Yeah, just in case. You know? That's probably I always thought when obviously Noble leaving at the end of the next season, and obviously hopefully Declan taking over the mantle, you know, like that. I always thought if we had those big turrets, we could get like a big ceremonial key, and he could pass the key over to the keys to the castle.
It'll be quite good. That'd be good for filming that.
They'd love that. Yeah, you're always thinking about the filming now, isn't it? It's always about the mate. You and Chris have a right giggle about that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely would, mate. Definitely would.
Right. Okay. Up front. Now you can pick yourself to you know, people do.
Nah. I'm too modest for that.
You'll be coach.
So I didn't play with Paolo Di Canio at
no, you didn't.
West Ham, but I played with him at Charlton. Does that count?
No.
No.
Because I tell you why. Because I was talking to Jack the other day, and when J-Mo, when you were doing the thing with J-Mo, and J-Mo, he couldn't believe that because I'd interviewed him the day before, and he couldn't believe he forgot Paolo Di Canio when he's 11, and he. I was like, because he played with him, but no, you can't have him because he didn't play for West Ham.
Okay, no problem.
Being tough.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Some great strikers you played with.
Let's go with Dean Ashton.
Oh, nice.
Top class player. Marlon Harewood's there as well. If I don't pick Marlon, he's gonna kill me, mate.
he's coming on soon as well, so
he's coming on soon. He won't pick me though. He'll pick Bobby Zamora. So, you know what? Fuck him. No, I didn't really get to play with. Yeah, I played with him. I played with Marlon a few times.
A little bit,
Remember
you would have
that
done.
Newcastle game when we both scored?
Yes.
Up at Griffin Park, but this one's a headache. Dean Ashton. Oh, I've got Bellamy as well. Bellamy.
You got Bellas. Vastay, technically, you could probably put him up front.
McKaylee's as well.
D. McKaylee, you got all them lot, haven't you?
D. McKaylee playing with him. D. McKaylee always said to me, Carlton, you just get in the box. I'll do all the work outside the box and you'll score. That's what he says. You're number 9. But remember, he's a striker as well. He goes, no, but you're number 9. You have to score. I was like, wow, I've never ever talked to about another striker about them wanting me to score more than them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was part of that great patch era. I call it the patch era, where we had to play patches all the time.
That patch era with I don't know what that was going on there with our kit, but
Yeah.
Um,
You had him. You had
well,
Diego Tristan, Ilian, Franco. You had Diamante as well.
Diamante.
God, he was a
Diamante could have
nutter.
been in there too, you know.
He's a nutter. He's a nutter, wasn't he?
Tevez, I played with Tevez.
Tevez, you did play with Tevez for a little bit.
I didn't play fully with him though. That's the thing.
No, I like your criteria. I like the way you're working through it, though. I can, you know,
you can see it. There's got to be.
I can see it. Victor
There's got to be a
Abina,
relationship there. I can't just be picking players.
You actually play with Picky
So
on, Freddie Picky on, Robbie Keane
Picky on as well. Like, I had a good
so many.
Freddie, but I will have to go Di Michele, man.
Nice. I like it. I think that's the first time David's come on as well. I think it's the first time he's been picked. So that's great, man.
Di Michele. I always champion him, but the reason why, because I just see what I just explained to you there.
Yeah.
He was a selfless man, you know, and he was one of those guys that you looked at, probably not very attractive to the eye. I'm talking about football terms, mate. We're not talking.
I mean, he was Italian. He was an Italian stallion. So
no. He was one of those ones where I felt he offered a lot to the team and the team structure. And Franco Zola, he loved him in his team because he played kind of not similar, obviously, but bringing others into play, making sure that he played selflessly.
Yeah,
and he had a big impact in me having success that season.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go with Di Michele. Sorry, everybody else. But
Sorry,
Dean
Mazza.
Ashton is a no-brainer because I played with Dean Ashtons through the ranks at under 19s to under 20s, under 21 level.
Of course you did, yeah.
So I always had a relationship with him. Although he was greedy at times, I don't mind that. But we did perform well together.
Yeah.
And Bellas will have something to say on this subject as well because he feels that he made me. I remember there was one time Bellamy, right? I came in and in the papers there was something going on in the papers saying that I might be in the next England squad, right?
Yeah.
And I came into the change room, not the change, it wasn't even a change room, it was into the medical room. And then he was like getting his massage and he had the paper out like that. And he was like, and then I've just walked in, obviously late, as I usually am, like an idiot. And then he's gone, Coley, have you said this? Says you might be selected for the next England squad. He goes, you selected in the next England squad? No chance. He said, you're not that good. And then I just started cracking up because I didn't have a clue what he was reading.
Yeah.
That's when I found out I was in the papers to be selected in the next England squad.
Brilliant.
And he was going, there's no chance you're getting in there. He said, the only reason you're even getting looked at is because of me. I'm just laying it on the plate for you.
I love it, man.
I've made you. Never forget, I've made you.
Oh, I love it. And you're right. I mean,
him and Kieran Dyer just giving me a hard time that day.
All the time.
That's the sort of characters we had in the change room.
Exactly,
you know?
Yeah.
It was amazing. And also, I do say Di Michele, but Di Michele is only because of that what he said to me that time. That
it's stuck in your head, and it's stuck in your head for so many years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's not a lot of players that are like that. Like, or understand that your number 9 should always score. You know what I mean? From any successful team, their number 9 always scores. You know, regularly. So he understood that concept. I don't know if it's an Italian thing. I'm not sure, but he understood that concept, and it worked for me.
How interesting. Yeah. And also he said you had all these players, but you mentioned about 4 or 5 different managers. I've lost count how many managers you played under as well at West Ham as well. What's it like when a new manager comes in as well, man? So a new manager comes in.
I'm the right person to ask for that. Well, listen, it depends what kind of view they've got of you. You know what I mean? Like, look, I've always been a normal geezer, like, and they might have heard elsewhere that I'm a certain way. Yeah. But until you come and they come and meet you, then they can make their own judgment on you. And Sam Allardyce says that as well. Said like when he first met, because I met Sam Allardyce before I came to West Ham. I actually met Sam Allardyce before I left Chelsea to go to Bolton.
Yeah.
And that's when I first met him. I met him at my agent's office at the time, and he was fine. He was a good man. Like, I felt that he was a great person, but I kind of snubbed it. So obviously, later on down the line, I see
6 years later,
he come to West Ham.
Yeah,
He didn't remember that, but he obviously knew that he was after me at some stage. And he even said, I think he said to the papers or something like that, to the press, that he had a view on what I was actually like as a person.
Yeah.
And then it kind of changed when he actually met me and worked with me
Brilliant.
on a daily basis, which was quite pleasing to see that you can change people's opinions about you.
Yeah.
Just as long as they meet you, and whatever you hear out on the street or whatever you hear from people that are not close to you, it's just gossip. It kind of helps your situation. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
When they actually meet you in person, and that's why I just never ever take people's words for gospel.
Yeah,
I would rather go and experience that person to see, is he really like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One big judgment. You know, and he says that about meeting me, so that's why I got respect for him, because some people can actually still have the blinkers on once they've made their decision about you.
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do to change it.
No, that's their view. Yeah,
some people are like that, but with Sam, he wasn't like that. He kind of changed his view on certain things, and you can see he's an evolving manager. He's still in the game now.
Yeah,
that just shows you that he can adapt to different scenarios and different way of thinking and different type of football, because right now he's still in the game, and it shows that he's still valued, you know. So
yeah, no, I get you, man. No, I totally understand that, man.
Definitely.
That's the team. Carlton. Super League, having a laugh.
Probably won't understand that, but
no, they will. They will.
I'll explain myself.
No, they will. I think it's a really balanced team, because you've just done it off your head. I think that's quite balanced. You can see you're a coach. You've got a bit of, you've got some pace on the wings. You've got some skill. You've got Ashton.
No pace up front, though.
No, but I don't think sometimes, it's like, Ashton had enough to get past someone.
Everton makes up for that on the left-hand
he
side.
Does.
Dino to knock it in on the far post. Dean McKayle's coming to feet, putting everything in to the byline. He crosses it in. Ashton, Bosch. First person. I've got.
You're in media. You're so in media. You're already commentating the goals. You haven't even played the team.
I'm doing too much media now.
That's what it is, isn't it? That's what it is. Right.
It's coming second nature. I never used to be like that. Sorry.
It's all right. I was about to say, just to prove it, I found the picture.
Oh, there it is. Oh, how cute's that? That's amazing.
There's the picture.
That's amazing.
And that's the one at Upton Park before she ran on the pitch.
Treasure times.
Indeed, man. I had to find it, so people have asked for it, so you've seen it now. Anyway, man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, man. It's been an hour has flown by. I didn't want you to take you for an hour, but thank you. I really, really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
man.
I do. When I get going, I do blabber on a bit.
That's why we love. That's why we love you, Carlton.
I'm a content merchant.
Still about the socials, isn't it? Content merchant,
mate. Yeah.
Hashtag content merchant. Anyway, man, cheers, buddy, and obviously thank you, and thank you everyone for watching. And for myself and from Carlton, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands.
Sorry, mate. My mum. That was my mum calling me. It was my mum.
Right, Carlton's dinner's on.
Like,
Carlton's dinner's going to be
now? Like, I'm supposed to be over there in a minute.
Anyway. See everyone. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Get those jabs. Come on, you irons, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Go on, Carlton's will go and pick his mum up. Take care, man. Bye bye.